Welcome to Habit Log! I had intended my first video for my Habit Log, my new Habit Log social network on Mighty Networks, to be a great introduction to how to have easy habits. But then something happened today that I just had to capture, and this video is really about what to do when you're trying to start new habits and the crap almost literally hits the fan. So, and this is a good one out there for you who have kids. There's also a little bit about how I adjust my exercise routine when I have less time and unexpected things come up. So it'll have a little bit for a lot of people. But more importantly, it's just an example of real life, right? So I'm not going to show you just me at my best. This is an example of things going a little crazy. Actually, the handling was pretty good, and I will say my kids were unusually good. But we'll get into some of the habits that go into them being able to play nicely while I take care of the sewer backing up into my washroom. And I hope this just inspires you to kind of see the humor in things, to kind of see that sometimes it's okay to scale back your habits or your schedule or adjust things when emergencies come up. And also to show you some of the little tweaks that have happened over time and how eventually they can make a day a whole lot better when you and your kids are used to a certain routine. So, with no further ado, it's been a crazy week. Last week Meg was out of town for several days. I was a single parent, and then this week I not only did my normal work schedule, but I went to a meetup to try and see if there's people to recruit. And anyway, it was like a busy week, right? And I was looking forward to a weekend with nothing planned, which is kind of rare for me and my wife. And so, at least these days. Meg heads out. My kids are used to the fact that sometimes I haven't finished. I start my morning routine a little later on Saturdays. Meg has the kids for about an hour and a half. Hour and a half before I get up. And so, often I just laze around, check my email, or, read a book for an hour, and then I'll get, before Meg leaves, we'll do family prayer, which is nice to get the family together. And then I'll go back and do some breathing exercise and meditation, and if Meg has to leave, and I'm not done, usually the kids are just set up playing Legos, or my oldest is playing on the keyboard. And so they can do that for a few minutes before I come out. And so I do that, I come out, and recently I have decided that I want to structure our Saturdays a little bit better so that we can use them better. And one of the things I want to do more is cleaning. I am guilty of having let the bathroom go, more than a week without cleaning, and when you have 3 and 5-year-old boys who like to try pee standing up but aren't very careful, you really need to clean that thing at least once a week, and probably 1 or 2 midweek quick wipe downs of things. And so I've been trying to get better, and then also get the living room, which has gone, I'm pretty sure, months without us seriously cleaning that sucker, just sweeping occasionally around the rug. On the wood floor. So there's a lot of things that I want to do in my life, and my kids also want to do capoeira. I used to do that, and my oldest is very intrigued by the idea, and so I want to have time for that, fit all these things in, and so I figure today I'm gonna have a schedule, and it's gonna be, all right, I'm going to do my exercise routine, I'm going to do some cleaning and shower. I'm going to shower and clean, and then we'll go outside and play. We'll do some capoeira. We're going to make bookmarks because my 5-year-old's reading chapter books with us, or we're reading chapter books with him. And, and all these fun things planned. And I think, it would be great, I'll get a whiteboard and write this down on the whiteboard so they can kind of see what the schedule is, and that sets expectations a little bit better. And I head to the garage, and I have to go through our little washroom, and then it hits me, this really gross smell, and I knew it was actually there Friday, the day before I'd actually walked through and something smelled off. But I had Meg come in, and she usually has a better sense of smell than me, and I asked her, does this smell a little bit like poo? And she's like, maybe vaguely, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just going crazy. But today, I have a moment to investigate. So I look around to actually poke through the washing machine pump. I don't think we'd put anything so soiled in our washing machine that it would smell this badly, but there is some gross stuff in there, and I turn to the sink next to the washing machine to like wash out this kind of gross, really foul smelling, muddy looking water filter pump for the washing machine, and there is like a ½ inch of backed up sewage in the sink, just caking the whole bottom of it. And wow, that was like a bombshell, right? And so because we had established some expectation that mom spends some one-on-one time with the kids, maybe reading or playing a game or whatever before she goes, and then they have some alone time and they're fed, they're actually really well primed to play on their own, which they did for about an hour while I figured out how to clean up the excrement. And try and cycle it through the washing machine too. Cycle the washing machine enough to get all of the water out. Luckily, I had some ammonia on hand, so I took an old 2-gallon detergent container and filled it with ammonia water mix. That's a train. And sorry for the interruptions, but I really wanted to get this down rather than waiting for a later time when it would be as quiet as possible. Life is crazy, right? So, anyway, so I go about mixing this, wiping the floor down, wiping the sink down, wiping everything that I can down, and get out. And the kids have actually, and this is not always true, but the kids have actually been playing nicely together, or probably more accurate, being in entirely separate rooms where they couldn't antagonize each other, which worked out pretty well. Gabe's was probably playing with Lego. Eli, heard him playing with the keyboard. He loves music, so it's been pretty great. Now, during this period, one of the things I'll say that also made it work is they did come in, they were able to come in and say hi to me or show me something that they drew, or so I wasn't completely checked out. I usually can't, for instance, work without interruption for a long period of time with the kids, but I can be doing something as long as it's okay for them to like say hi to me every like 10 minutes or something. So that said, when I finally clean all this stuff up, I head out, and I still have my bathroom and living room cleaning that I want to get done. I still want to get in my exercise. I still want to I still want to play in the backyard and make them lunch and read with them before quiet time, nap time. And so that is, there's all these things that I have to figure out, like, okay, do I just throw my hands up in the air? And really, what I figured is, all right, I've done a lot of cleaning. I want to follow through on the cleaning I plan to do today, just so I can build that momentum, but I don't have to do it to a super high standard. And I can have help. So one of the things I did before anything else, since the kids had been very patient, was remark on that and tell them we could go to Antoine's Cookies, walk down to Antoine's Cookies after lunch if you keep being just as good as you are now. And so that allows them to, because I'm asking a little more than usual of them, I'm planning an extra special trip. Plus, man, if you have to like spend an hour cleaning sewage out of your washroom, like, celebrate it after you're done, man. So I set that up, and they had something to look forward to, especially later in the day when all of their playing independently nicely or willpower, whatever it is used up, and they're getting a little crazy. I have that promise to kind of rein them in and focus them. Because when you are running short on willpower, sometimes excitement for something else, something that's going to come, can substitute in for a little bit of willpower. So I normally have 16-minute exercise on Saturdays. I do 4 sections of as many reps as possible, pull-ups, then jumping lunges, then modified planche push-ups. I can't actually do a push-up just on my hands, but I do shift I have slowly started shifting my hand position more towards my hips, so my arms are taking more of the weight. And then I actually split the last segment usually between squats and a kind of weird like Superman looking thing where you lay on the ground and lift your arms up and your back legs up, so only your tummy's on the ground. You're kind of using your core and your back. So I figure I'm not going to skip leg day. I'm still going to do my jump lunges, but kind of my last section that's split and I haven't given full attention to it anyway, that one I am, that one I'm fine to just skip. And so, and the other ones I modified instead of doing 4 minutes, which has been, doing multiple sets within those 4 minutes. That has been great in terms of feeling like it really works me out. I'm sore the next day, but not hurt. And so I was just fine. I'm going to experiment with a different style. This is one I picked up from Body by Science, where basically you do it slowly, as controlled as possible, and you're actually only shooting for like 45 seconds to a minute and a half. Now, I can't actually do a minute and even 45 seconds of pull-ups straight. I think I got reasonably close. So what I really did is do three as many reps as possible sessions, but condensed it to 2 minutes and really focused on the slow control to get a little bit more out of my workout than when I just try and do as many reps as possible. Anyway, all of this because I spent an hour cleaning that I didn't expect to. I still want to exercise. I still want to get in a good exercise. Now, if my commitment was just to exercise, like if I didn't already have a habit of exercise and I was trying to build that, maybe the right move is to just do like 10 push-ups and call it good, right? Because, just keep the habit of I do exercise at this point in my morning schedule. And maybe the workout is less important than keeping the habit. But for me, that's pretty approachable. I actually miss it when I don't do a Saturday workout. And again, my long Saturday workout is 16 minutes, so not too bad. And then, shower, super quick, lazy wipe down of the bathroom. Again, sometimes I might wipe everything down, or like sweep out the floor, or wipe everything down, once and then mop it on the floor and do a whole lot of things. This time, not so much, just try and be real quick. I'm not doing multiple rounds of the tub or anything special, right? Just do it as quick as possible. Didn't do the mirrors, skip plenty of stuff, right? Again, just trying to get by. And then I still wanted to do a little bit of shampoo on our shag carpet. Really difficult to maintain and clean, but it does dampen sound, which is nice when you have, crazy little 3- and 5-year-old boys. So, I did enlist their help, and this is something we've been working on for months, where if I give them a very specific task, not just clean up the living room, but, to the 3-year-old especially, I have to be very, very particular, but, hey, can you put the library books, or take the library books off the floor and put them on the library bookshelf? And since this is something we've been through him, we've practiced with him, we've helped him do it at the start, he's kind of built up to a place where he can do that more or less independently. And then I can tell Eli, hey, all your school papers, put them in your backpack, or, throw them out if you don't need them anymore. And so they got that routine. I vacuumed. I gave them a chance to vacuum, and this is kind of one of those kid skills where, it's you get them a chance to play with a cool toy and get them involved, and so it's a little bit of a reward even if we're cleaning. And what I get for this is some Legos in the vacuum, and then the vacuum getting plugged up by a ball of yarn. It's a learning experience, and we're able to fix it. Again, that's something where I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done and be a productive parent. One of the things that helps is finding ways to involve the kids, so let them vacuum, even if it requires a little bit of adjustment or fixing. And then the other thing that I plan to make the rug cleaning part a little bit more exciting is I had all the ingredients to make our own carpet shampoo, which actually worked pretty well. It's just like 2 tablespoons dish soap, 1 tablespoon white vinegar, a dash of ammonia, and a half cup of warm water. Put it in an old foaming hand soap bottle. Worked great. Anyway, but that process of making it getting to make it. And then with my youngest really didn't care, but the oldest, who's into science and making things and experimentation, thought it was really cool, and he got to spray the rug. And there's like a really dirty rug by the back that has, you know, their muddy tracks and like a bits of raspberry seed and stain that's been in there for like a month. So, you know, he got to see us wipe that out with the shampoo that we've made, and that made it more exciting. And then eventually, after all this, you know, we were able to move on out to the outside. And what I saw when we did was, you know, Eli, the first thing when he gets out there was like some dirt on top of this wooden storage, or well, plastic wooden looking storage barrel that we have in the back. And you know, the first thing he did is clean that off and say, "Dad, do you like my cleaning elegance?" And that made me super proud, you know, as a father. Because, you know, that was the message that I have done this somewhat well, right? That they're excited to clean sometimes, which is something I never was. But, you know, letting them use the vacuum, making the cleaning solvent, bribing them with Antoine's cookies because there was a whole lot of cleaning today. All those things actually made it a little bit more fun. Of course, they have their nights where they don't want to clean, where I ask Eli like 10 times to clean it up. You know, clean up his area in the evening, which I'm trying to make a habit. So it's not like they're magically this good all the time. And, you know, as we're doing this is getting to be almost 12 outside. And I remember my promise to do some capoeira with them, so I go ahead and start a few exercise. Eli tries to do some crazy, like, spinning kick that he invented, and hurts himself. And then, you know, that's one of the scenes that for me makes it, you know, like, oh, things are kind of going downhill. The 3-year-old starts destroying the things that my oldest is building repeatedly, not listening. That's a sign that he's tired or hungry, right? And so it's not like the kids don't get there. But I think because they've had one-on-one time, especially early in the morning with some reading, and then been part of the cleaning activities during the morning, they've been involved, there's been new learning fun things like the shampoo, you know, that has extended the period of time that we could be productive before they just break down and everyone's tired and cranky, right? And I still have the cookies to bribe them with, so so, you know, eventually, you know, so pretty quickly after that, actually, we have lunch, take a walk. It's like 8 blocks down to this delicious cookie place. Have some cookies, you know, take it slow. I have my youngest, my 3-year-old, is averse to walking, so I let him, you know, sit on my shoulders most of the way. Not all the way, but most of the way. And we have fun. It's a good day. They're very happy when we come back and read before nap time. And so there's a lot of habits in there. And the things that I want to pull out that are hopefully helpful for you is, man, stuff happens, right? And when it comes up, feel free to like tweak or cut things from, you know, your habit and your routine. But especially if you're trying to build a routine, try and hit it, even if it's just for a couple minutes. Our capoeira lesson, maybe a minute or 2. I don't know if it was that much. Right? But the fact that we did it still keeps it kind of fresh in their mind as something we can do. I'm still trying to figure out how to expand their attention. Kids sometimes, with things like that, structured learning, kids do often learn better in groups in a class, where if they can be incorporated in a class where kids are already doing that thing and already focusing on something, then little kids will naturally focus, right? Teaching something like that can be harder to kids, or it takes more time to build it up, right? If they don't already have an example of like a classroom of peers who are already doing it. So that's, you know, one thing. Cut down habits. You know, I cut down my exercise, cut down capoeira. Another thing to do with your habits is celebrate. Man, that cleaning up, which was super gross. It was one of those things where I could smell it even after I'd cleaned it all up. When Meg came back from her work that she does on Saturdays, I asked her if I still smelled like poo. She said I didn't. I'd taken 2 showers, actually, one before I exercised and one afterwards, real quick, just because it was so gross. So when something comes up and surprises you like that, man, do something to celebrate. Do something to shake that off. You know, because that unexpected surprises definitely do weaken your willpower. They cut out the reserve that you had been expecting to rely on. So then having something to look forward to that you can lean on instead of sheer willpower as you go throughout your routine, that is definitely helpful. On the kids front, definitely a couple of things where cleaning is a hard habit to get kids into. There's definitely times when my 5-year-old has taken 40 minutes and lots of reminding to do 5-10 minutes of sweeping, right? But if you stick with it, it can pay off. And it's always very helpful, I think, also that he sees me cleaning. Like, one of the first things I do right after dinner, or if I get home and they've already done dinner, is just go do dishes right away. So he has that example. And then the other thing is, oh yeah, first thing in the morning, if you've got kids and you want to do something productive that morning, make sure they're fed, make sure they get, you know, quality time. That was like the family prayer, that was Meg reading with them. And that will prime them to have enough like attention in their attention store to play nicely for a while and not feel really needy. That is also another habit that's built up over time, where I still remember when we just tell them to do 15 minutes of free play time so that we can get a quick break during the day, right? But if you can do that, and especially if you can schedule that at the same time, like, you know, when mom leaves the house Saturday morning, dad's got some time to clean and get stuff done, or, you know, do some breathing exercises. You know, they know to expect it, and they practiced it. Kids actually can pick up the skill of playing nicely. Now, of course, while they're learning that skill and you're not watching them every moment of the day, or they're gonna make some messes and you're gonna have to clean those up, you know, that happened. I let them go play with the vacuum for a little while, come back, it's clogged. You know, to me, that's part of the learning process. And then the third thing is just work some learning and fun things in there, like the making the shampoo. You know, that gets their attention. That is something I let them know even the night before to get excited about. You know, something new, something cool. And so, man, rewards with kids, like giving them something to look forward to. So helpful. I mean, not just the cookies, but like letting them know the night before that we're going to have the shampoo thing and be excited we get to make it and try it out. So they're actually excited about cleaning because there's something new happening and they get to do science, or at least, you know, mixing household chemicals or watching me do it. So, you know, so those are some of the habits that can go into this. And then there's always just reading the signs, like when my kids are get clumsy and hurt themselves more, or they have a hard time listening, it's usually hungry or tired, right? And kind of calling it there, doing lunch and cookies at that time. So those are all kind of some different little habits or tweaks, right, that I've learned in trying to have a productive morning with kids. And of course, like the biggest thing for me that I've done or tried to do somewhat, even since like my oldest was 2 years old and thought me doing dishes was interesting, I'd like try and balance him on my knee and let him play with the water a little bit while trying to do dishes, right? Just, you know, incorporating them as part of the activity. It does make it harder initially, but there is a payoff in that. And so if that is a place where you can, and you know, if that's a place where you can develop habits, then the ability to work together as a family, I've always liked that. In some ways that's, you know, more meaningful to me than just playing in the yard. That's fun too, and I love that. And my favorite thing is reading with them. But the ability to work together with my kids, you know, that's a great habit, and one I highly recommend. So, you know, I hope any of these tips are helpful. I hope in the big picture of things, it just shows you, you know, there will always be crap, right? But if you have the right habits, a few habits stacked together, nothing groundbreaking, But just a few habits stacked together, it can make a really bad day actually kind of an exciting, fun day. And my kids were thrilled. I felt good, actually, because even though problems came up, I felt like I had control. And that's really the biggest thing habits have given me. They have given me a sense of control over my day. There are always positive things that I can intentionally introduce into my day and rely on because of the habits that I've formed. And they do somewhat get interrupted by the outside, but not entirely. And so I hope, I hope if you have any questions about habits and habits with kids and routines with kids, or your own personal habits and what to do when things go sideways, send them my way. I am excited to hear about your personal habit journey, and I'll keep posting probably shorter things, but I did want to give you a real good real life view of just how things work. I don't have a perfect life. I'm not trying to sell that. I won't, nothing that I'm going to tell you is going to make life easy, but what it's going to do is take chronic stress out of your life. The feeling that your problems are overwhelming and you keep butting up against the same problem. If you go on Habit Log, and learn how to make habits easy and build them up in little easy steps until you feel a sense of confidence, control over your day, it changes everything. And you can approach even some of these days, the crap hitting the fan with a little bit of humor, a little bit of fun, and it is just worth it. And it's there. It's there for everybody. Everybody has a habit or a few habits that can really turn your life around if you just practice it a little bit. In just baby steps, it'll be phenomenal how you grow. So my next video actually will be about why some habits are so stressful and guilt-inducing, and how to change your habit formation from something that is stressful and guilt-inducing to something that is exciting and that builds your confidence that you can positively change your life in a consistent way. Thanks for watching. Kind of long video. Best of luck with your habits and your routines.